TV News political commentator Scott Reid standing by. He was listening into some of what Mark Carney was saying. Why is this so important, Scott?
Well, it's really important in order to enact the Prime Minister's vision, which is let's start getting some things done and let's do them rapidly. And those kinds of things that he's talking about are actions that will help to insulate ourselves against incursions from the U.S. economy. If we can no longer rely upon the United States as a trading partner, if we have to seek other ways to sustain ourselves economically, well, then we're going to have to build energy infrastructure to get energy to other markets, whether they be in Asia or Europe or elsewhere. If we are no longer going to be able to sell as much to the Americans, well, then let's take down barriers that permit us the ability to sell to one another. That's what he talks about when he says one Canadian economy. So again, almost all of this, and you hinted at it in your opening, almost all of this is the effect of Donald Trump. The effect of Donald Trump's aggressions are that we are going to have to make changes to what we do and how we do it economically and infrastructure-wise.
Do you think it's going to happen, Scott? Can it happen before Parliament rises?
Well, whether the legislation can be passed before Parliament rises, I thought that was every single thing the Prime Minister said seemed to me to be, okay, that's what I was expecting, until the last question that Jeremy asked. And then he said, well, you know what, we may sit throughout the summer if that's what it takes to get this passed. That did catch my ear. We'll see. I don't know if he means passing the House and the Senate, or whether he means just the Commons. I do think there's a lot of goodwill in the Commons. I think there's a lot of goodwill among premiers, obviously, as we saw earlier this week, and across the country, to see action on this. So we'll be the party that stands in the way of this. I think it could get through the House quite quickly. But understand, we're making big fundamental changes here. You start talking about a fast-track office that allows expedited approvals of major infrastructure projects. We are talking about billions, tens of billions of dollars at stake. We're talking about whether or not you solicit a sufficient amount of community engagement and social license. He talked a lot about the importance of getting the concurrence of Indigenous communities. I mean, these are not small matters. They're the kinds of things you would expect parliamentarians to pour over in committee when they look at legislation. But the big picture right now feels like there is a lot of momentum between let's get this done and let's get it done now.
Why would other parties not support bringing down interprovincial trade barriers and trying to have a stronger economy nationwide?
I think they would. The question is whether that's compatible with such a truncated timetable. We've only got 2-3 weeks left in this session. I mean, someone could say, some lone parliamentarian might stick their hand up and go, gee, could we kind of look at this stuff on a clause-by-clause basis and make certain that if we're going to change such fundamental regulations and such fundamental legal structures, that we are positive, it's well drafted. But as you say, I think, frankly, there is going to be a lot of impatience. And you hear it almost persistently from the Prime Minister. Let's get big things done, and let's do them at speeds that we haven't seen in years and years. And so I do think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the other parties to just move.
Scott Reid with his take on this Friday. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for this.
You bet. You too. Have a great weekend, pal.
You as well.